10 years ago, a relatively unknown artist called Gotye released a song that shook the planet. Somebody that I used to know has over 1.5 billion views on YouTube and millions of fans worldwide. But where did Gotye go after 2011? Is he somebody that we used to know? Stay tuned to hear the surprising story of Gotye. Wouter, or Wally, de Bakker was born on May 21, 1980 in Bruges, Belgium. His family moved to Australia when he was 2. Wouter is a Dutch name, Gotye is its French equivalent. Gotye? The nickname his mom gave him. Makes sense, right? He started playing in 2001, making tracks by putting samples together. He created a 4-track CD with the working title Gotye and made 50 copies of it, handwriting the track list and coloring in the cover sleeves in pencil. He sent the copies to every radio station he knew and got enough positive feedback to keep him in the game. Around that same time, Gotye met musician Chris Schroeder, and they began performing together as The Basics. Within the next couple of years, Gotye gathered 2 more 4-track collections, and the label company Creative Vibes offered Gotye an album comprising all 12 tracks. Board Face, his first album, was released in 2003. In 2006, his second album came out. Like Drawing Blood, tells the story of Gotye's struggle with finding a studio and recording his music. Although Gotye was a well-known name in the Australian music scene, it was his third album that made him an international phenomenon. Gotye was able to turn his parents' old barn into his own permanent studio, and it's there that he created his whole third album, pretty much all by himself.
Making Mirrors was recorded mostly in a room in a big barn on my parents' block of land on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, Australia. I set up the various bits of recording gear I'd collected over the years, but mainly worked on a MacBook Pro and a 1/4-inch tape machine given to me by my friend Phil Musto.
In July 2011, Gotye released his album Making Mirrors alongside 2 singles, Eyes Wide Open and Somebody That I Used to Know, featuring New Zealand musician Kimbra. The song moved very quickly up the single charts, and it was also endorsed by Ashton Kutcher and Lily Allen on Twitter. Somebody That I Used to Know reached 11 times platinum status in Australia and 8 times platinum status in the United States. It was the #1 single on iTunes in 46 countries. The song's video, directed by Natasha Pincus, was awarded the Melbourne Design Award. On YouTube, it was the #4 most liked video of all time. Gotye was nominated for Highest Selling Single, Single of the Year, Best Pop Release, Best Male Artist, and 3 awards in the ARIA Artisan category. Gotye and Kimbra were practically showered with awards, including multiple Grammys. They were invited to Jimmy Kimmel to play live and featured on Saturday Night Live. The song was featured on Glee and American Idol. This big moment begged the question, what was Gotye going to do next? Well, nothing. Not as Gotye, anyway. Indeed, Gotye didn't disappear off the face of the earth. Rather, he was replaced by Wally de Bakker, who wanted to keep writing and producing music under his original name. Gotye was a short project, according to Wally. At the time of the craze, he wasn't even interested in selling his music through ads. And this is not the only way Gotye is not making money from his hit single. He is also giving 45% of the royalties to Luiz Bonfa, a Brazilian guitarist and composer who pioneered the country's jazz scene and who's also been dead for 20 years. Bonfa's song Seville begins with the distinctive D and C notes, which Gotye sampled for his song. He told Billboard that this tiny sample provided a big inspiration for Somebody That I Used to Know. Gotye preferred to pay Bonfa estate royalties rather than an upfront fee. Just as he wasn't interested in making millions from his music, Gotye is also not interested in becoming an international superstar. However, he is happy to be a popular songwriter.
I'm not fixated on remaining underground, and I don't sort of think that if a popular audience finds my music that that's somehow going to devalue it. It will for some, sort of very critical hipster types out there, but I'm not really making music for those people either.
Gotye, or rather Wally de Bakker, insists on staying humble and focused on his music.
So what is the last huge thing you bought?
I haven't bought anything physically big. I really hoped it would be a new van, but I've had my eyes on this. Here's something. Let's see if your producers can pull this up on Google in a second. It's called an EX42. It's a Yamaha organ.
Today, Wally de Bakker still plays with The Basics as drummer and singer. This is the band he started with Chris Schroeder in 2002. Since then, Tim Heath has joined as well. The basic sound is very different from that of Gotye. Heavy guitar and drums give a rock and roll sound unlike Gotye's electronic beats and samples. The Basics have released several albums and EPs. Their latest album, Basic, was released in November of 2019. The Basics are far from done playing or touring. In 2016, Jean-Jacques passed away. He was a pioneer for alternative pop, influencing everything from Japanese video games to The Simpsons and SpongeBob SquarePants. Wally had been a friend of Perry's in the last years of his life. After his death, DeBacher launched the Ondeline Orchestra. According to the National Sawdust, the Ondeline Orchestra is an ensemble dedicated to preserving and extending the legacy of the Ondeline, an electronic keyboard invented in 1941. This project won an Australian Helpman Award alongside many positive reviews and is proof that Wally DeBacher is still serious about producing quality music. As of July 2018, Wally is also a daddy to daughter Leonie. He keeps his family life private, as is expected from an artist who shuns stardom. A few years ago, he also created his own Australian-based record label, Spirit Level. To fans' questions whether he will be releasing any more music under his stage name, he wrote a blog post saying no. Then, he wrote a follow-up. Very clear. But an artist with many dimensions shouldn't reveal all his secrets, am I right? One of these contingencies, though, is according to Wally, the fact that the world is becoming increasingly louder. There's clearly a big question mark on Wally DeBacher's creative process, but one thing's for certain. In his own words, I will do my best to make it enjoyable for both of us. And we certainly hope he will. What do you think of Gotye and his hit single? Are you following Wally DeBacher now, and how do you think the basic sounds differs from that of Gotye? Write us a comment about it. We hope you liked our video, and if you did, why not hit the like button? And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and let us know what other one-hit wonders and internet sensations you'd like us to cover.